What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel. And in this video, we're going to ask the question, should you pull for Erika, a brand new character coming out soon to Eversoul? But before we ask that question, you guys know the drill. If you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, that way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. Leave a like on this video and comment down below if you're going to be pulling for Erika. Have you had a chance to check out her kit, which is available on the Pridewin website? All of the information is there, which I'll be linking in the video description as well as the pinned comment, and if you're going to be doing a ton of summons for her. So let me know what you guys think about Erika and if you're going to be pulling for her or not. We're going to go ahead and ask the question, should you pull for Erika? So we're going to go ahead and dive right into her kit, which with some slides that I went ahead and created. So Erika is from the Fairy faction. Her gear type is Intelligence. So her highlights are HP heals, attack buff, attack and defense debuff, and powerful RNG-based effects. We're going to go ahead and just get right into her ultimate skill, which is called Ars Magna. So this heals all allies' HP based on attack. It does have the Eureka 1 effect, which increases the target's attack by 10 seconds, and the Eureka 3 effect, which all allies are invincible for 3 seconds. Now, something to note, which when we talk about the Eureka skill, Eureka 3 is actually the RNG-based version of the effect, so just keep that in mind, and we'll get into that more when we actually talk about her Erika Sub Skill 3. The damage modifiers on this is the AoE heal at base is at 260% of attack. It's a 22% attack buff. At 101, the AoE heal is at 290% of attack with a 26% attack buff, and the invincibility is extended to 4 seconds. Finally, at level 201, the AoE heal is at 320% of attack, 30% attack buff, and the invincibility is increased to 5 seconds. Her main skill is called Magnum Opus, so this heals the HP of the ally with the lowest HP, and also nearby allies within a 2.5 meter based on attack. The Eureka 1 effect applied is an additional heal will be applied to that target based on attack, and then the Eureka 3 effect casts a barrier equal to attack to absorb damage for 12 seconds. The modifiers are as follows. At base, the heal is based on 220% of attack, the added heal is 100% of attack, and the barrier absorbs 160% of attack. At level 81, the heal jumps up to 240% of attack, the added heal is 110% of attack, and the barrier is now at 180% of attack. Finally, at level 181, the heal is at 260% of attack, the added heal is 120% of attack, and the barrier is at 200% of attack. Her sub-skill 1 is called Poisonous Potion. So this deals damage based on attack to the furthest enemy and also poisons them. The poison does deal damage over time for 10 seconds. The Eureka 1 effect applies an attack debuff for 10 seconds. Eureka 3 effect applies a defense debuff for 10 seconds. The modifiers are as follows. At base, the attack is at 110% of attack. The poison damage over time is based on 55% of attack. And then the attack debuff is at minus 14%. And the defense debuff is at minus 14%. At level 21, the damage jumps up by 10% to 120% of attack. The damage over time from the poison is now at 60% of attack. And both the attack debuff and defense debuff are at negative 17%. Finally, at level 121, the damage dealt is at 130% of attack. The damage over time is at 65% of attack, and both the attack and defense debuff are now at negative 20%. Her sub-skill 2 is Giant Potion. This heals the ally with the lowest HP based on attack. The Eureka 1 effect applies a physical and magic resist for 10 seconds, while the Eureka 3 effect applies another added heal based on attack. The damage modifiers on this are as follows. The heal is at 160% of attack with a 14% physical and magic resist, and the added heal being at 80% of attack. At level 41, the heal is at 180% with the physical and magic resist being at 17%, and the added heal being at 90%. And finally, at 141, the heal is based on 200% of attack, the physical and magic resist is at 20%, and the added heal is at 100% of attack. And finally, we're going to talk about Erika, which is actually a sub-skill. So I think this is one of the very few characters that actually has 3 sub-skills and not an actual passive. So Erika, what it does is she applies it to herself and she gets an attack increase for 8 seconds. And with the Eureka 1 effect, it also allows her added effects to activate and a chance to activate the Eureka 3 effect. So in a nutshell, the Eureka 1 effects that come from all of her skills and sub-skills, they're always going to activate, and then you have a chance to activate the Eureka 3 effects, which is generally the more powerful effects, although I believe one of her sub-skills, the Giant Potion, I actually prefer the Eureka 1 effect. That one I think is the better one, but these are the modifiers are as follows. So the base is at 14% attack buff to Erika, and then she has a 30% chance to activate Eureka 3. At level 61, the attack buff is at 17%, which gives her a 40% chance to activate Eureka 3. And finally, at level 161, the attack buff to herself is at 20%, and it now gives her a 50% chance to activate Eureka 3. Now we're going to go ahead and just take a look at her artifact real quick. It's called Elixir of Life. So this grants her Eureka 1 an additional effect, which increases her speed, which is great for a support unit. So at base, it's an 8% increase. At upgrade 1, it's at 9. Upgrade 2, it's at 12. Upgrade 3, it's at 15, and she also now heals mana by 500 for herself. Upgrade 4 is 18%. Upgrade 5 is 21. And upgrade 6 is at 24 with a 1000 mana heal to herself. So what are her pros? So she has awesome additional effects from Eureka 1 and 3. As you can see, some of those are really powerful, especially the ones coming from both her main skill as well as her ultimate, because it provides invincibility. And you also get that barrier from the main skill 1, which is pretty cool. And then from her actual attack coming from her sub skill 2, you get that attack debuff and also a potential defense debuff, which could come come in handy in certain situations. She's a unit that has access to instant heals, which what I mean is kind of like Jiho, where when her main skill activates, it's an actual heal, not a heal over time, kind of like Talia does a heal over time. That's valuable in saving your allies, especially the way that her heals function coming from her sub skill 2 and her main skill, which applies the heal to the target with the lowest HP. So generally, this is going to be like your tank, or let's say one of your damage dealers in the back line is getting attacked by like a Lindsay or Jacqueline. This can come in handy in terms of that. And she also has access to damage over time with poison, which is really cool. She's part of the Fairy faction, which has strong party synergy and flexibility. There's a lot of great fairies. You got Chloe, Vivian, Talia, and Erika is part of that faction, so she's definitely good in that sense. And she's also great for the Fairy Gate. So if you're looking for another party member for the Fairy Gate, well, here you go. She's great for that. And she's also of the supporter role, meaning she doesn't need as many dupes. Usually when it comes to support, you're good at like 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies. So Erika fits that role as far as not needing dupe prioritization compared to, let's say, like a damage dealer where you want dupes, or a tank even where you'll usually want to prioritize their ascensions before like your supporters. Now, what are her cons? Added effects from Eureka 3 are RNG based, which I think reduces her consistency and makes her a little clunky to play. Now, normally you're going to be playing this on auto. Most of us have been playing this game on like full auto and stuff, but like when it comes to like actually playing manually, which you will need to for harder stages, her playstyle is a little clunky. The RNG based thing is, I'm not a fan of it personally. Even in other gacha games I've played, whenever there's a character that has like an RNG based thing to happen, and while it's powerful because it's RNG based, I'm just not a fan of it. And then her only full screen heal is tied to her ultimate, so unless you want to use that heal, you're better off using a different ultimate, which is a little unfortunate. So think of her as more of like an emergency single target healer. Her main skill does apply the heal to party members around that ally with the lowest HP, which I guess is kind of cool. But you're not going to be really using that ultimate, and while it is a pretty powerful heal with that potential added effect of invincibility, remember, it's still RNG based. So to me, her ultimate is, it looks good on paper, but the RNG based part of it just kind of kills it for me. I'd rather have Catherine, honestly, using her main skill 1, because at least she gives a barrier to all of your allies near her, and then her ultimate actually gives some sort of invincibility without needing RNG. And then she lacks battery for a supporter unit, which other healer units have. So we know Talia has that. Catherine has some form of that, so she does lack that a little bit. So in terms of Erika, I think she's a good unit. I don't think she's the greatest. I don't think she is a replacement at all for Talia. I don't think she's a replacement at all for Catherine, because I did see some people discussing that they're like, oh, she's Catherine 2.0. She's not. She is not Catherine 2.0, not at all. The RNG thing, again, kind of devalues her, at least for me personally. So you guys already know that I'm likely going to be skipping this character. But if you like her, if you think she's really cool, if you like her design, if you find value in her in some way, I think she might be worth going for, especially if you're a collector. But personally, if you want my recommendation, if you already have access to some of the strong support healers, Catherine, you know, Talia, Jiho, even freaking Prim. I love using Prim for, like, especially my undead team. I think it's safe to pass on this character because there's potentially other characters that are going to be coming out that you're probably going to be looking forward to. And if you're running dry on resources and you already have really good support, I think it's safe to pass on Erika. But if you want her for collection purposes, or you actually do find value in her and you actually want to use her and show everybody that, hey, she's actually really good, then go for it. By all means, go for it, as long as you're having fun and enjoying the game. Don't forget to check out the other resources out there for Eversoul. Don't just watch my content. There's other great content creators out there that make these type of videos. We got the Pridewind website. You know, that way you guys are educated and can formulate your own decision based on the information you've absorbed from, like, different sources on whether or not you're going to be investing in these characters. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video and stay blessed, everybody.